Hey there, Devil May Cry community. Let's have a little bit of a discussion. I've been playing Devil May Cry since Devil May Cry 3, Dante's Awakening. I didn't start with the original game, but I went back to play it, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. Then I played Devil May Cry 2, against my better judgment. I shouldn't have done that. That actually ruined my perception of time and reality and made my soul ache realistically. But one thing I enjoyed about Devil May Cry 3 was the fact that it was back in the day when I didn't care that I had to watch story games. So I ended up watching the entire story. It was amazing. I loved the tale of the Demon Knight Sparta. I love the beauty of Dante, how he was goofy but stylish and cool and sweet and suave, how he ate pizza and ate strawberry milkshakes and enjoyed every aspect of it, how in Devil May Cry 1 he was darker and grittier, and how in the older anime by Madhouse he was really cool. However, this is also very important. The Madhouse anime didn't do the numbers that it was supposed to or projected to do. That's also a very important factor. That's because Devil May Cry has not been that popular. Devil May Cry has been popular enough to get more franchises within it. It's been had Devil May Cry 1 through 5. It got the reboot to re-envision everything, and the outcry from the reboot was so beautiful by the fans. They hated the reboot so much, they ended up making Devil May Cry 5. That was a joyous day. I remember when Devil May Cry 5, I am the storm that is approaching. The soundtracks of the game is outstanding. Understanding Virgil's character as being somebody power crazed and power hungry to get more power. I need more power. That's the beauty of it, and it's amazing. And it seems as though the anime has done a deep mishandling of some of your favorite characters. Dante is now Deadpool. Lady, who we love deeply, named Mary Arkham, is being handled in such a piss poor way, and you're upset that she's saying the F word and cussing a lot and destroying things, and it doesn't feel like the original source material. And I gotta ask you a question. I know that you did not want the original source material one-to-one adaptation, and I know that you just want the characters to be honored. I grasp that. I know this. I'm a deep Devil May Cry fan. However, this is important. To actively say the show is bad is a bit of a stretch. It reminds me of the Dark Souls 2 debate. Now, while I personally don't enjoy Dark Souls 2 because I played Dark Souls 1 and 3 and I'm not stupid, Dark Souls 2, if it wasn't a Souls game, would be a pretty good game. As a matter of fact, I might play it on stream one day. Dark Souls 2, if I didn't play Dark Souls 1 or Dark Souls 3, would be a very good game. Not a good Souls game, but a very good game. But it's using the name of my favorite franchise, Dark Souls. Thus, I have a little bit of an ingrown hate for it, or at least had a little bit of an ingrown hate. I recently watched somebody play the entire game and said to myself, this isn't that bad. Yeah, the rolling animation is weird. Yeah, it's a little bit strange, but the DLCs are really good. The combat isn't too bad. And it feels fun to play with some friends. It's a good game. It's a good 7 out of 10 game. Same with this anime. It's a good 7 out of 10 anime. However, I do understand the hate behind the character design, more so the character design of his personality. Because they pulled a Kingdom Hearts 3 Sora on him. If you don't know what I mean, if you're not in the Kingdom Hearts community, that's completely fine. I'll try my best to explain the best way I can. Imagine if, for some reason, a character who is a wizard, has traveled through space, has fought the absolute deepest parts of darkness, and has encountered robots and space gods of the like, got excited upon seeing a very basic robot to the point where he said, "Oh, cool, a robot!" Kingdom Hearts 3 Sora is not Sora. Kingdom Hearts 3 Sora is a caricature of Sora. Devil May Cry anime Dante is a caricature of what if somebody saw the cutscenes ever so sparingly of Dante would think Dante is. People are complaining that he doesn't have devil arms. People are complaining that the character feels like Deadpool. And I want to point this out. Do you remember the specific scene where Dante was dressing like Michael Jackson? He was dancing and doing this and doing the Michael Jackson dance and showing off his devil arm. Do you remember that? Imagine this, if you will. Imagine if you never played Devil May Cry and you saw that. Just picture that for a moment. Something feels off about his character for sure in the anime, but imagine if you never played Devil May Cry and you just saw the opening scene to Devil May Cry 3. I'm putting it behind here so we can look at this. If you saw the opening scene to Devil May Cry 3 where he's being ridiculous and wacky. He's not using one-liners or quips or referencing common day media like he is in the show. He's not doing that because Dante doesn't really reference common day media, right? He doesn't do that, right? He does sometimes. There's a very few instances in which he does where he does some little quips in that variety. He does like getting his jokes off. He does like getting jokes off. That's what he does. But when a much sillier character is introduced and put in the game in Devil May Cry 3, he immediately retaliates because he doesn't like the silliness. He doesn't like the goofiness. But that's how Dante is. He seems to have control. He seems to understand things. And most of the time, this is very important, people don't want Dante to struggle. A very important aspect of Dante's character, this is super important, was that he barely ever, if any time, struggles. And in the Devil May Cry anime, I can deeply understand why you got upset, because there's a lot of power inconsistencies throughout it. But to say the show on every principle is bad is strange. I like the rabbit, the white rabbit character, cool guy. I enjoy his motivations. I enjoy his character. I enjoy what he did for the story. Very fun to witness that. People say they ruined Virgil because he works for Mundus. He works for the Mundus. Oh, he works for him. I don't know if he actually works for him, because if we think about it, we gotta see what happens in season 2. He may be doing this all as a big ploy. That may be the reality of what's going on there. It may just be a big bit. Who knows? I have no idea. I'd like to figure it out. I'd like to witness the show and watch it. That'd be great. But we're not going to get a season 2. We're not going to get any more Devil May Cry media if this show doesn't do good. I want Devil May Cry 6 really bad. You don't understand how bad I want Devil May Cry 6. I feel like this show has to do good for us to get Devil May Cry 6 for some reason. I don't know why that is. But I can understand if you want to retaliate and not watch the Netflix stuff, because Netflix has ruined shows. However, look at Castlevania for a moment, right? Castlevania got a bunch of seasons, and I had a lot of complaints about Castlevania because I am a deep Castlevania fan. I've played every Castlevania. I love the games. They're really fun, and I have a very controversial pick as my favorite. Castlevania on the PS2 for Curse of Darkness is my favorite Castlevania. I like Lament of Innocence, but Curse of Darkness, where you could summon those guys in the background, that was really cool. I loved it. I believe you could play as a guy named Hector. I believe his name was Hector. Don't remember his name. I do remember the game was really fun, and he was trying to save his wife, and you ended up fighting death at the end or something of that variety. Really cool game. Loved it a lot. I loved it so much. However, this is super, super important here. Castlevania on the Netflix series was not faithful to the series at all, but it got wildly popular because people kept memeing it. Same with the Minecraft movie right now. People kept memeing it. That's what happened there. I think that you have valid complaints for fans. For fans that care about the source material a lot, your complaints are valid. But I'm going to keep it a being with you. I'm going to keep it a stack. It's not going to stop the executives from making the show what they want to make the show into. It's just going to inspire them to do more with the show. I feel like if the show gets popular, people will get really upset, but I think the show should be popular because it has good animation. I know people are complaining about the shaky cam and stuff like that. Lady's character is ruined because she cusses so much, like Busy Pop wrote her. I'm not gonna lie to you. She cussed not as much as everybody kept saying. Everybody was like, "Oh, all she does is cuss the entire show." She cusses a lot, but not to the extent where you guys are making it seem that was her entire character. She's a cool character. I like the way she operates. I like the way she fights. I don't like the inconsistencies of Dante's power scaling, about how he seems to understand fights and grasp them deeply and then has to lose like that. It's creating artificial conflict, and that is a bad aspect. I do appreciate you guys bringing that up. I do love that. But the show in itself is not bad. I don't know why that is being a narrative being pushed, saying the show sucks overall. It sucks if you played Devil May Cry, maybe. Maybe if you really, really cared about the intense plot of Devil May Cry, which most Capcom fans do care about the plot of Devil May Cry, so they're actively getting upset about it, and I grasp that. I put that in a pipe and smoke it. I understand that deeply. But I'm going to keep it a stack with you. The show isn't horrible. It's just average. It's an alternate universe. It's not changing the canon. It actually expands on a lot of characters' lore as well, which is actually pretty cool. I cried during the White Rabbit episode. That was pretty good. I liked that a lot. It was pretty cool. And that was mostly wordless. People were complaining about Nilo Angelo too, saying Nilo Angelo shouldn't speak at all. saying that the beautiful significance of Devil May Cry's 1's Neil and Angelo was the fact that you knew you were fighting your brother. But I gotta factor in this. Imagine you're scrolling through and you've never played Devil May Cry, right? You've never heard of it, or you've heard of it, but you've never played it, and you see it has an anime, and you've never played the games. Picture that. Imagine you watch the show, and you say, oh, this is pretty good. Do you think that somebody that's never played Devil May Cry, because you got to get those fans over too, and you complaining about it may get people to actually play the game, actually, which may boost their sales. You may say, and it's on sale right now on Steam. It's on like an 80% sale on Steam right now, at least at the time I release this video. But yeah, I don't. And this is an open letter to you guys. The hate is strange. The hate is strange, right? Is it not strange a little bit? I can understand the hate for the Dragon's Dogma anime. That sucked. That wasn't even good to watch. It felt trash. Onimusha had an anime. That sucked. That was trash. A lot of these niche Capcom titles, essentially, Onimusha, Dragon's Dogma, get an anime, and then they get a new game. Dragon's Dogma had an anime. Dragon's Dogma 2 came out. Onimusha had an anime. What's that? New Onimusha came out. Oh, it's coming out next year, I believe. And then, Devil May Cry got an anime. A new game. I'd be very happy. Hopefully, it's not based off the anime, because, by God, I know you guys would hate that. But I think it's a good anime. I really don't grasp. I hate going online and seeing discourse. I think the community should just chill out a little bit. I think they should. Your complaints are valid, but you should chill out at least a little bit. Telling people to not watch the show at all is a little bit crazy. I feel like you should inform your own decision about it. It's 8 episodes. It's not that long. Spend an afternoon spending about 4 hours to witness the entire show in its totality. Watch it at 1.5 times speed if you want to. I don't know. It's not that bad of a show. It's really not. It's really not. It's really not.
So I'm your nigga night, be my loyalties low. Ooh, happy to try what you need. Your world, I love to live in it. Ooh, I love the ride when you're free.